Welcome to Learn English with Roast, where we focus on real conversations, fun learning, and daily English.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our Cozy English Learning Podcast. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Rayan. Today we are stepping into a very practical real-life situation, ordering coffee in a cafe.
Not just ordering coffee, but doing it confidently, naturally, and politely, just like native speakers.
Before we start, think about this. Have you ever stood at a cafe counter and suddenly forgotten all your English?
Or just said, coffee please, and walked away thinking you could said it better.
Today, that changes. Let's build your real-life confidence step by step.
Imagine you walk into a cafe. You greet with a simple hello or good morning.
Small words, but they create a confident start.
The barista asks, what can I get for you?
And instead of hesitation, you say, I'd like a coffee, please. Or can I get a cappuccino, please?
These phrases are powerful because they sound polite and natural.
Not orders, crests. That's the key difference.
Now you want to be more specific.
You can say, I'd like an iced latte, please. Or can I get a hot cappuccino with less sugar?
Then comes the next step. What size would you like?
And your answer is simple. Small, please. Medium, please. Or large, please.
No need for long sentences.
In real cafes, short answers are natural.
Then maybe they ask about milk or sugar.
You can say no sugar, please, less sugar, please, or with almond milk, please.
And if you don't hear something clearly,
You simply say, sorry, could you repeat that, please? Or I didn't catch that.
that keeps the conversation alive.
Fluency is not perfection, it's continuation.
Now imagine they ask, for here or to go?
You reply, for here, please, or to go, please.
Simple and natural.
No overthinking needed.
Sometimes the barista asks, how is your day going?
You can say, it's going well, thank you. How about you?
That small question makes you sound natural and confident.
Because English is also about connection, not just answers.
Now your order is being prepared. You might hear, anything else for you?
And you simply say, no, thank you.
Or add something. Yes, can I also get a muffin, please?
Real-life English is just small decisions like this.
Sometimes mistakes happen. Your order might be slightly wrong.
You can politely correct it. Actually, no sugar, please. Or sorry, I wanted iced, not hot.
And if you didn't hear something,
You just ask again. That's normal. Sorry, could you repeat that?
now you are waiting for your coffee.
The barista calls your name. Order for Alex.
You respond, yes, that's me.
And when you receive it, thank you so much.
Then you sit down, relax, and maybe someone asks, how is it?
You say, it's really good, or I like it a lot.
Now let's continue the cafe journey and go deeper into real situations where your English becomes more natural and flexible.
Because ordering is just the beginning. Real communication happens when things move fast and slightly unpredictable.
Imagine you are standing in line and the menu has too many options. You feel a little confused.
This is very common, even for fluent speakers. So instead of stress, you use a simple question. What do you recommend?
Or more naturally, what would you suggest?
This instantly turns confusion into conversation.
The barista replies, our caramel latte is very popular.
And you respond, okay, I'll try that, please.
Simple decision, natural flow, no pressure.
That's how real cafe English works.
Now let's imagine another situation. You want Wi-Fi in the cafe.
A very useful question is, do you have Wi-Fi here?
Or can I get the Wi-Fi password, please?
These small phrases help you stay connected and confident.
Now sometimes, while you are waiting, something goes wrong with your order.
Maybe it's not what you expected, or something is missing.
Instead of staying silent, you can say, sorry, I think this is not what I ordered.
Or excuse me, I ordered a hot coffee, not iced.
Very polite correction, very natural English.
Because real communication is not perfect, it is adjustable.
Now let's think about something important. Do you ever feel nervous when people are waiting behind you?
That pressure often makes learners forget simple English they already know.
That's why prepared phrases are powerful.
Because when your brain doesn't need to search, you speak more naturally.
Now imagine the barista asks, anything else for you?
You can say, no, I'm good, thank you. Or that's all, thank you.
Or if you want something extra, yes, can I also get a cookie, please?
Small additions, simple choices.
Now let's go into another real moment. You hear your total price, that will be $6.50.
And you respond, okay, or sure.
Then you pay and say, here you go.
That's it, natural and smooth interaction.
Now let's focus on something many learners ignore. Clarity matters more than speed.
You don't need fast English, you need clear English.
Even if you speak slowly, it sounds confident when it is clear.
That is what real communication is about.
Now imagine another situation. You didn't hear something clearly.
You simply say, "Sorry, could you say that again, please?"
Or, sorry, I didn't catch that.
These are essential survival phrases.
Now think about this carefully. Do you usually try to guess when you don't understand?
That often creates mistakes. Asking again is always better.
Now let's imagine your coffee is ready and your name is called.
You hear, "Order for Sarah,"
You respond, yes, that's me.
or "That's my order, thank you."
Then you receive your coffee.
And you simply say, "Thank you so much."
These small, polite phrases make your English sound natural and respectful.
Because fluency is also about behavior, not just words.
Now you sit down, take a sip, and someone asks, how is it?
You say, "It's really good," or "It's perfect."
Very simple expressions, but very natural in real life.
Because you don't need advanced English to express basic feelings.
Now let's reflect for a moment. Do you listen to real English around you?
Because listening improves speaking more than memorizing rules.
The more you hear these patterns, the more automatic they become.
Until you don't think, you just speak.
And that is the goal of this cafe journey.
Natural English in real situations without fear.
Now let's move further into real cafe situations where things feel more natural, a little faster, and more like real-life conversations.
Because once you've ordered your coffee, the interaction doesn't end. It continues in small, simple moments that build real confidence.
Imagine your coffee is being prepared, and you are just standing nearby or sitting close to the counter.
Sometimes the barista or staff might casually say something like, "Busy day today."
And you don't need to think too much. You can simply reply, yes, it is, or yeah, it's quite busy.
Very short, very natural, and very real English.
Now let's think about something important. Do you usually stay silent in these small moments because you don't know what to say?
That's actually a missed opportunity, because small talk is one of the easiest ways to build fluency.
Now imagine another situation. Your name is called incorrectly.
This happens a lot in cafes, especially with different accents and pronunciations.
You can calmly respond, yes, that's me.
Or "Yes, I'm here."
No need to correct aggressively, no need to feel awkward. Just confirm naturally.
That's real life communication.
Now let's go deeper. The barista might ask, is everything okay?
This is your chance to respond simply and confidently.
If everything is fine, you can say, yes, it's perfect, thank you.
Or "Yes, all good, thanks."
Very small phrases, but they make you sound fluent and comfortable.
Because fluency is not about long sentences, it's about natural responses.
Now imagine your order is ready. You hear your name or number being called.
You respond, "Yes, that's me."
Then you collect your coffee and say, thank you so much.
Or even, "Thanks a lot, have a nice day."
These small closing phrases are extremely important in real communication.
Because they leave a positive and natural impression.
Now let's think about something real. Do you usually say thank you and goodbye in English, or do you just walk away?
These small habits actually shape how fluent and confident you sound.
Now imagine you sit down with your coffee. You take the first sip.
And maybe someone asks you, "How is it?"
You can say, it's really good, or it's amazing.
Or simply, "I like it."
Very easy expressions, but very natural in everyday life.
Because you don't need advanced vocabulary to express simple opinions.
Now here's something interesting. Cafes are also a place where you can learn by listening.
You can observe how people order, how baristas speak, and how real English sounds in daily life.
Let me ask you something. Do you ever pay attention to real conversations around you?
Because listening carefully helps your speaking improve naturally over time.
Now imagine the whole experience again, from ordering, waiting, receiving, and sitting comfortably.
Everything feels smooth when you know the simple phrases.
And the best part is, you don't need to memorize hundreds of sentences.
You just need a few patterns that you repeat in real situations.
That's how real fluency is built.
Step by step, moment by moment, situation by situation.
Now let's go deeper into real cafe moments where English feels fast, natural, and sometimes slightly unexpected.
Because real communication is not a script. It's a flow of small situations that you simply respond to.
Imagine you've placed your order, and the barista says, anything else for you?
This is a very common question, and you don't need to think too much. You can simply say, "No, thank you."
Or if you want something more, yes, can I also get a croissant, please?
Very simple decision making, very natural English.
Now let's think about this. Do you ever feel confused when someone asks you a second question after you already ordered?
That confusion is normal, but it disappears when you know common patterns.
Another common situation is when they ask, would you like any syrup or flavor?
And you can respond easily, no thank you, or yes, vanilla syrup please.
Or more naturally, can I have vanilla syrup in it, please?
Same meaning, slightly different style, still very natural.
Now let's imagine something very real. The cafe is a bit noisy and you don't hear clearly.
Instead of guessing, you simply say, sorry, could you repeat that please?
Or sorry, I didn't catch that.
These are survival phrases that keep communication alive.
Let's pause and think. Do you usually try to guess what people say when you don't understand?
That often leads to mistakes. Asking again is always the better choice.
Now imagine the barista says your total. That will be 580.
And you didn't hear properly. You can say, sorry, how much was that?
Very simple, very natural, very useful in real life.
Because clarity is more important than pretending.
Now you are paying. You hand over money or card and say, here you go.
And the barista responds, thank you.
Small moment, but very natural interaction.
Because fluency is built in these small exchanges, not big speeches.
Now let's think about something important. Do you feel pressure when people are waiting behind you in line?
That pressure often makes learners forget even simple English.
That's why having ready-made phrases is so powerful.
Because you don't think, you just respond.
Now imagine another moment. You didn't hear the name called for your order.
You can simply ask, sorry, was that for me?
Or, is this my order?
Very natural confirmation phrases.
Now you receive your coffee. The barista says, here you go.
You respond, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.
Simple politeness, strong impact.
Now you sit down and relax. Someone asks, how's your coffee?
You say, it's really good, or it's perfect.
Very simple English, but completely natural.
Because expression doesn't need complexity, it needs clarity.
Now let's reflect for a moment. Do you notice real English when you hear it in daily life?
Because observation is one of the fastest ways to improve speaking.
The more you hear these patterns, the more automatic they become.
Until you stop translating and just respond naturally.
And that's the real goal of this cafe's experience.
Natural English in real time, without fear or hesitation.
Now let's move into situations where things don't go exactly as planned in a cafe because real life is never 100% perfect.
And this is where your English becomes really powerful, when you can handle small problems calmly and naturally.
Imagine you ordered a hot coffee, but you receive iced coffee instead.
Instead of feeling stressed, you can simply say, sorry, I think this is iced, but I ordered hot.
Very polite correction, very natural English.
Because in real communication, fixing mistakes is normal.
Or you can also say, excuse me, I ordered a hot coffee, not iced.
Short, clear, and respectful.
Now let's think about something. Do you ever feel uncomfortable correcting someone in English?
That feeling is common, but politeness makes correction easy and natural.
Now imagine another situation. The barista asks you something, but you didn't fully understand.
Instead of guessing, you can say, sorry, could you say that again, please?
Or sorry, I didn't catch that.
These are very important survival phrases in real-life English.
Now let's go deeper. Sometimes you change your mind after ordering.
Maybe you wanted coffee, but now you want tea instead.
You can say, sorry, can I change my order?
Or more naturally, actually, can I have tea instead?
The word actually is very powerful. It makes correction sound natural, not rude.
Yes, it softens the sentence and keeps communication smooth.
Now imagine the cafe is busy and you are in a hurry. The barista asks quickly, for here or to go?
And you respond, to go please, or for here please.
Very short answers, no stress needed.
Because real cafe English is fast and simple.
Now let's think about another common moment. The barista says, that will be $6.20.
And you didn't hear clearly. You can say, sorry, how much was that?
This is one of the most useful phrases in daily English.
Because asking again is always better than misunderstanding.
Now imagine you are paying. You hand over money or card.
You simply say, here you go.
And when you receive your change or receipt, you say, thank you.
Small words, but very natural flow.
Let's pause and think. Do you try to avoid speaking English when small problems happen?
If yes, remember, these moments are actually your biggest learning opportunities.
Now imagine another situation. You are waiting and your name is called incorrectly.
You calmly respond, yes, that's me.
No correction needed, no stress, just confirmation.
That's real-life communication.
Now let's talk about confidence. Confidence doesn't mean never making mistakes.
It means knowing how to fix mistakes smoothly.
And cafes are the perfect place to practice this.
Because conversations are short, repeated, and predictable.
Now imagine everything together ordering, correcting, asking again, paying.
It all becomes a natural flow instead of separate sentences.
And that is the secret of fluency.
Not memorizing, but reacting naturally in real situations.
Now let's move into a more relaxed and natural part of the cafe experience where your order is done and you are simply living the moment.
Because real English is not only about ordering, it's also about what happens while you wait, sit, and interact casually.
Imagine you are sitting with your coffee and the cafe is calm. You are finally relaxed after ordering.
And sometimes, small natural interactions still happen around you.
The barista might smile and say something like, "How's everything?" or "Enjoying your drink?"
And you don't need to think too much. You can simply say, yes, it's really good.
Or, "Yeah, I'm enjoying it, thank you."
Very simple, very natural, very real English.
Now let's think about something. Do you usually stay silent when someone asks a small question like this?
Many learners do, but these are actually perfect practice moments.
Because you don't need complex grammar here. You just need real reactions.
That's how natural fluency starts.
Now imagine another situation. You are sitting and someone calls your order number or name.
And you didn't hear it clearly.
You can calmly ask, "Sorry, was that mine?"
Or, is this my order? Simple, polite, and effective.
Now let's go deeper into real cafe behavior. Sometimes people talk around you and you hear common expressions,
Like it's a busy day or this place is nice.
and you can quietly learn and even respond if needed. "Yes, it's quite busy today."
That's how listening becomes speaking practice.
Now let's imagine your coffee is finished and you are preparing to leave.
This is an important moment in real life English.
You can go to the counter or pass by staff and say, "Thank you, have a nice day."
Or simply, thanks, bye.
Very small phrases, but they complete the interaction naturally.
Because fluency is also about how you end conversations.
Now let's think about something important. Do you usually forget to say goodbye or thank you in English situations?
These small habits actually make you sound more confident and natural.
Now imagine one last moment. You take your coffee, sit for a while, and reflect.
And someone asks, how was it?
You can say, "It was really good," or "I liked it a lot."
Simple expression, real meaning.
Now let's connect everything, from ordering to sitting to leaving.
It's not separate sentences, it's one natural flow of communication.
And the more you see English as a flow, the easier it becomes.
Because you stop translating and start responding.
That's the real difference between learning and using English.
Using is where fluency is built.
And cafes are one of the best places to practice that.
Because every visit gives you the same patterns again and again.
Now let's reach the final part of your cafe journey, where everything comes together and you see how simple real English actually is.
Because at this point, you are not just learning phrases. You are understanding a complete real-life communication flow.
Imagine you've finished your coffee and you are sitting for a moment, relaxed and calm.
And this is where English becomes very natural. When there is no pressure, only simple interaction.
You might decide to leave, so you walk back or pass by the counter.
And you say something simple like, thank you, have a nice day.
Or even, "Thanks a lot, bye."
Very short, but very natural and polite.
Now let's think about something. Do you usually feel unsure about what to say when leaving a place in English?
Many learners do, but closing phrases are actually very easy.
Because you don't need creativity here. You just need habits.
And habits are built through repetition.
Now imagine a small moment before leaving. Maybe you want to express your experience.
You can say, the coffee was really good.
Or, "I really enjoyed it."
Simple feedback, real communication.
Now let's zoom out and think about everything you've done in this cafe journey.
You entered, greeted, ordered, customized, corrected, waited, responded, and left.
And every step used simple English patterns.
Not complicated grammar, just practical expressions.
That's the real secret of fluency.
You don't need thousands of sentences. You need a few that you can use anywhere.
Phrases like "I'd like," "Can I get," "No thank you," "Sorry, could you repeat that?"
These are your real-life tools for communication.
Now let's ask you something important. If you went to a cafe tomorrow, how would you feel now?
More confident, more relaxed, or still thinking too much?
Because confidence doesn't come from memorizing. It comes from recognizing patterns.
And once you see the pattern, you can use it anywhere.
Cafes are just one example. The same English works in restaurants, shops, and daily life.
Once you learn the flow, you can reuse it everywhere.
So don't think of English as something difficult anymore.
Think of it as something you use every day in small moments,
And the more you use it, the more natural it becomes.
until one day you stop translating and just speak.
That is the real goal of learning English.
Natural communication without fear.
Thank you for being with us in this entire journey.
And now it's your turn. Step into a cafe and try it in real life.
Now let's go one step beyond the cafe and connect everything you've learned to real confidence in daily life.
Because the goal was never just coffee. It was learning how to speak naturally in real situations without fear.
Think about it. Every sentence you used in the cafe was simple English.
I'd like, can I get? No, thank you. Sorry, could you repeat that?
These are not just cafe phrases, they are real-life communication tools.
And you can use them in restaurants, shops, hotels, anywhere.
Now imagine your next cafe visit. You don't hesitate anymore.
You walk in, you greet naturally, you order confidently, and you respond without thinking too much.
That change doesn't happen overnight. It happens step by step.
Every small interaction builds your confidence.
Now let's think about something important. Why do people feel nervous speaking English in public?
It's not because they don't know English. It's because they don't trust their simple English.
But here's the truth. Simple English is enough.
In real life, clarity is more important than complexity.
Now imagine you are in a cafe tomorrow and everything goes smoothly.
You understand the menu, you ask questions, you respond naturally, and you enjoy your coffee.
That moment is not far away. It starts with practice and awareness.
And most importantly, repetition of real phrases.
Let's quickly remind you what real cafe English looks like.
I'd like a coffee, please. Can I get a latte? For here, please. To go, please.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. Yes, that's me. Thank you. Have a nice day.
These are your real-world English tools.
Now let's think one last time. If you stop overthinking, what happens?
You start speaking more naturally, more freely, and more confidently.
Because fluency is not about perfection.
It's about participation.
The moment you start using English in real life, even in small ways, you improve.
Not by studying more, but by using more.
And that is the biggest secret most learners miss.
English becomes easy when it becomes part of your daily actions.
So next time you walk into a cafe, don't think like a student.
Think like a speaker,
Speak clearly. Speak confidently.
and let the conversation flow naturally.
Thank you for staying with us through this entire cafe journey.
And remember, your next coffee order might be your first step toward real fluency.
Now take a moment and look back at everything you've experienced in this cafe journey.
From entering the cafe to ordering, to handling real situations, to finally leaving confidently.
It wasn't just about coffee, it was about how real English actually works in daily life.
Simple, natural, and based on patterns you can use anywhere.
The truth is, you don't need perfect grammar to communicate.
You just need clear, useful phrases and the courage to use them.
Every sentence you practice today is something you can use in real situations tomorrow.
And that's where real fluency begins, not in theory, but in action.
So don't wait to feel ready. Start using what you know right now.
Even small sentences can create big confidence over time,
The more you use English in real moments, the more natural it becomes.
until one day you don't think in your language first, you just speak.
Thank you for being with us in this journey.
And we'll see you in the next real-life English conversation.